This is some kind of foul magic we have found ourselves in. That's your brother. How old was he?
Last I saw him before we got separated, I believe he was X amount of years old.
13 years old.
13.
Hello and welcome to Funky Quest. This is Funky Games Online Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign, playing Dungeons of Drakkenheim. My name is Dan, aka Dandy Dungeon Master, aka the Big DM, and I'll be running tonight's game. And I'm joined by the rest of the Funky roster. Go ahead.
Smash Fox, Matt here playing Farron the ASMR monk who's going through a family existential crisis, kind of wondering what happened all the way back during that fateful day.
And it's me, Ireland, playing Bulk, the Artificer Armorer. And I just made it all happen, so you're welcome.
And I'm Danielus, also known as Daniel now, and I am a ranger.
That's right, bitch. Say it again.
Find out on the Funky Smash channel. And I have my trusty steed Barkus, and I was about to figure it out if y'all didn't interrupt me.
Okay. Oh yeah. The whole mystery, indeed.
Yes.
If this is your first time on the channel, we are Funky Games, avid gamers, retro and modern. We post videos a few times a week, single player playthroughs or our multiplayer hijinks, including, as my young ward Daniel stated, the Dan Cup Part 3, coming to you live. Not really live, but fresh off of Funky Fest, our adventure in an undisclosed Midwestern location where a lot went down, including our last session. I kind of messed up the end of that intro, but Stephen, round us out with any other plugs you have to say about things.
You can like and subscribe. That's a great thing. It helps us out. It makes the channel go burr, and we appreciate it, and it helps out in everything that we're doing. You can also go to the Funky store, funky.store. You can get some merch. You can check out all that stuff over there. We got t-shirts, we got sweaters, we got long sleeves. It's all gamer stuff. It's for the gamers. You want to check that out at funky.store.
Sweaters are dope. They're comfy. You'll see me wearing it next session. Mine's in the laundry right now.
Everyone continue.
I don't have it right now. It's in the laundry, but like I wore it probably a little bit longer than I should have. It's real nice.
Those sweaters were indeed dope.
Yeah.
I do enjoy mine. Another case. So, like I said, we are fresh off of our last session at Funky Fest. It got a little sloppy, got a little schmoozy, but we had a good time. So we're gonna rewind just a little bit at the end, but we'll see when we get there. So my favorite moment from last session, besides from just playing live with you guys, which was really fun, being Maximus in person was incredibly fun. Just being able to do that without like the audio messing up, like cutting over, I can just subtly do it in the background. But there was an interaction between Farron and Maximus Goldenrod, I believe. No, excuse me, it was Bulk. Brother Maximus, can you tell me about the Silver Order? They seem opposite of House Goldenrod in every way. It was a sly comment, but it was quite good. Not too many of us caught it. Yeah. Yeah, indeed, it was very nice. No updates to the kill counter because technically nobody has died. So last we left our adventurers. The party confronted Maximus over the stolen kill of the troll and exchanged insults. Basically just some braggadociousness. Everybody was kind of puffing up their chest. But the razzing reminded Maximus of home, and he offered to buy the party a round of drinks at the nearby inn that you all had been hearing the sounds of piano from and smelling the aroma of delicious food. So it was a bit strange, but everybody kind of seemed down to go. So everybody went, and as they came upon it, it was kind of an interesting sight. It almost seems like there was a rift in worlds, almost. Like the inn itself was bathed in sunshine and looked in pristine condition. Everything else surrounding it looked as you understand Drakkenheim to be. So you guys enter the bar and everything looks pretty normal. Everybody's having I guess normal for the old times. Everybody is having a fantastic time in there. There's dancing, the piano is going off, drinks are flowing, food is moving from the kitchen. They start exchanging war stories, you and Maximus, about your time in Drakkenheim, discussing monsters, factions, treasures, and you guys, indeed, have a good time as well. Drinking, eating a lot. They learn that Maximus is here for glory and treasures for House Goldenrod. He really doesn't care what happens in Drakkenheim. He just wants what belongs to him. Bulk tries to scam Maximus with the immovable rod trick, failing in the process. And the party tries to get the scoop on what's happening in the Black Ivory Inn, realizing that the patrons seem ignorant to the events of the last 15 years. They try to escape with the goldenrods, but as they move through the time-lost streets, they end up right back at the Black Ivory Inn as they look to the sky and see a breakaway piece of the meteor crashing through the inn, setting off a giant explosion, and all of you die. The party somehow comes back at the moment they first enter the bar, this time along with others who appeared with them. The party splits up to try and decipher more clues. Danielus talks to a robed man named Saul, who appears to know what's happening. Bulk inspects the mysterious piano player, Miss Charlotte, while Farron helps the Goldenrods rouse their trapped men, who are also inside the bar. Somehow it ends in a brawl. Notes were a little bit sketchy there. I believe Daniel shot a grappling hook at somebody.
Bulk smashed the piano. I mean, accidentally.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
Piano.
Yes.
Daniel's grapple hooked the knight, and then I booked it for Miss Charlotte.
Which I must say was quite the epic play. Like, come
you
on.
held her there for a while. It was pretty.
I know. I'm gonna start using that more.
Yeah, it was not bad. So yes, indeed, in that fight, you learned that the piano, as well as Miss Charlotte, were both immune to damage. Barkis was savagely stabbed to death as the fight rages on, eventually ending as the meteor once again smashes into the inn, killing everyone. They do pick up one detail as the meteor falls. Miss Charlotte is hit directly with that piece of the meteor, something you couldn't see from the outside, and plunges into the basement. The party somehow comes back at the moment that they first entered the bar, this time along with others who appeared with them. Bulk starts freaking out and stops a father and his child who are leaving the inn, just as they did each time they entered the bar. For the first time, Farron gets a good look at the pair and discovers that they are his father and his brother. Matt, do you remember the names of your father and brother? I'll give you inspiration if you can tell me in 5, 4.
I don't have it this quick.
3.
No, I don't.
2. Okay, very good. I'm pretty sure your dad's name is Conrad and your brother's name is Maxie. Right. I'm pretty sure that.
I know Conrad sounds right. Maxie, I'm iffy with.
Indeed. Okay, so with the recap complete, I'll explain the little tiny rewind we're doing. So first of all, everything that you just did in terms of the brother and the father, totally fine. That still goes off without a hitch. So one thing I need you guys to do is to make an intelligence saving throw.
Ooh. And we do this through D&D Beyond, correct?
Please.
Oh, really bad.
Farron.
Okay, 3.
Okay, Bulk.
14.
Okay, Daniel.
17.
Or Danielus. 17. Okay.
17. Who needs all their memories?
Right.
Farron, we're going to have a little talk real quick, and we'll be right back.
I'm excited. This is going to be our first Only Dan talk.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've never had one with just you.
Welcome to the chamber.
Ooh, all right. Hit me with it. What's going on in the temples?
Okay, my friend. Please roll me a d6.
Yeah, no problem. Also want it through D&D Beyond?
Sure.
Okay. D6. 3. Very middle.
Yes, indeed, very middle. Kind of in the way that all things should be. For you, a monk.
I was about to say that's ominous.
Indeed. Okay, that's an interesting one.
Oh no.
Okay. Your mind is riddled.
Okay.
You develop a terrible fear of the number 13.
Okay.
Treat all rolls of 13 as a natural one.
Okay.
And anytime another player rolls a 13,
all right,
you must consider them hostile for that round.
Okay, question. 13
Sure.
on the dice or 13 total?
Let's
if you
go
rolls
on the dice.
Okay, because I was like, if someone rolls a 7 but they got a +5, is that like, oh my god, I
Actually,
got to fucking hit them? Like, what is this?
actually, that's a good question. Which one is good? 1 or 6?
I don't.
To you.
To me, 1 or 6.
Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah.
well, 6 is usually better. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so it's on the dice.
Okay, so
I was gonna say
if it's a roll of a 13, I gotta go aggro.
And
If
yes.
if I do it, do I just gotta, if I roll a 13 and it's treated as a 1, do I just gotta like scream?
Yes, you can do it however you want. Your mind is basically riddled.
What? Okay, another also last one before it takes too long. If I just see the number written somewhere, like if we walk past room 13, am I gonna be like, oh?
Absolutely, you're terrified of the number 13.
Okay. All right, I'm ready. I'm good.
Okay, cool. And we're back. Oops, did I? Okay, yep, and we're back. Okay,
We're still muted and deafened.
I think they're good.
Oh, we're good.
No, we can hear.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, very good. So intelligence saves out of the way. Everybody feeling good? So the little rewind we talked about. You guys are still here. The man and his child are coming near you. The 4 golden rods walk back to their space at the bar, where the bartender, Open Mike Connolly, sits. Maximus and Grompus are here with you. The knight character returns to the familiar spot next to Miss Charlotte at the bar, and the robed man. So you all step into the inn, just like you always know. The people disperse. You all start to gather yourselves, kind of getting used to the new scenario. The robed man, Daniels, he whips around to you. He takes you and he pushes you into the wall. And he says, "What year is it?"
It's the year of 4
Current
years
year.
later. Current year.
Okay. He says, "Good, your mind has survived. Take all of your allies, any of the living, and bring them up to me." And he takes off and does like he usually does, bolting towards the right here and up the stairs. And now we'll kind of bring you guys right here. And you've had the situation with Conrad and Maxie. So just to remind you all, they appear just in front of you. They call out, or the father calls out the older man. Well, see you next time, Mike. Got to get back to the old ball and chain. And he turns to walk towards you guys. Bulk stops him and says what? And we'll take it from here.
No one leaves, brother.
What? Excuse me, please. It's time for me to go.
Does Farron at this point recognize who they are?
It's unmistakable.
Is he still? If he's still trying to leave, I'm gonna reach out and grab Conrad's hand, and I'm just gonna try to not really pull him in close to get his attention and be like, it can't be, and just look at him and be like, who are you?
Oh, sir, please. He takes his hand and he steps away and he grabs his child and pulls him close to him, and he says, "Please, I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to leave. I have a family at home."
I want to start rattling out, "What is your name?"
Conrad.
And then I'm probably Farron's going to go a little bit ghostly. And then I also don't know some of these facts, but he's probably going to rattle off were you born this day? Do you have this many children? Do you have a son by this name? And then I'm assuming like Farron being probably like a rambunctious kid, he probably has a scar and he's gonna be like, "Do you have a skull right? Does he have a skull right here?"
He is taken aback and he says, "Who?" He turns back to Mike and he says, "Hey, Mike, who is this man? Do we have guards in here? Anyone? Get this man away from me."
I'm just gonna kind of like retreat and be like, get home to your family. Don't leave them on November, whatever day that the asteroid fell down. Stay with them. Do that and I'll let you leave.
What are you talking? Of course.
I'm gonna grab him by the shoulder and be like, promise. Get home now.
I'm going to my home.
I think I'm gonna step in and be like, Farron, what is going on? Do you know these people?
And I was gonna look up, like, not even kind of like registering, kind of like shrugging off and be like, it's my dad and my brother.
Conrad speaks up and he says, "Farron, that's hey, my son's name's is Farron. What are your dad and brother? What are you talking about?"
I feel like at this point, Farron probably realizes like it's a lost cause. Realizing whenever we tried to leave the town that we were trapped, and I'd be like, I must have been mistaken. Sorry, maybe a drink too many, and I just kind of let him go and kind of like sulk back.
He starts to walk past you, gathering Maxie at his side, and he turns to look and he says, "Don't worry, friend. I've been there myself. One too many at the pub. That's just what we call a good night, but those days are over for me. Maybe one day when you have a family, you'll understand." And he says, "Come along, Maxie. Time to get home to our family." Yeah. So he turns and he walks away.
Brother Farron, I don't think it is best that we continue to let things loop as so.
If we can break this, that's might be the best we can do. And like just kind of like looking more towards his shoes, just not knowing how to feel or look or react.
So Farron, do you recognize this place? Like, is this from your hometown?
I've told you before, we both grew up in Drakkenheim. This may not have been my exact neighborhood, but I know these streets.
So what happened to your father the night of the meteor? Is this where he was at?
I wasn't quite sure that he was here, but we got separated. I thought him and my brother went to try to help out and try to help people get out of the city. Maybe they didn't catch it in time, or I'm not quite sure what's happening here.
Grumpus Goldenrod speaks up and he slaps you on the shoulder and he says, "Looks like he had one too many to drink. He was just having a good time."
And I just like don't even respond. I just like take the hit and I just like don't even look at Grumpus.
But that is strange. You said that man was your father.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
Grumpus. So Grumpus is he's taking up a lot of space. He's a big guy. But he's kind of right with you guys. You know, he's talking. He doesn't seem to be displaying any weirdness. Maximus is kind of just silently kind of standing to the side. But Grumpus says, this is some kind of foul magic we have found ourselves in. That's your brother. How old was he?
When last I saw him before we got separated, I believe he was X amount of years old.
13 years old.
13. I believe he was
your younger
13,
brother.
older at the time. 13, just a teenager.
13. But that was before. So how old would he be now?
X amount of years after the meteor.
28.
28. He, nearly 30.
This. What do you all think has happened here?
It seems almost like a trap. Everything's frozen.
It's a time
Repeat-
loop.
To repeat the same couple of hours. You did have that man who pushed you up against the wall, Danielus, who told us to follow him. Do you know
Yeah,
him?
should we go? I talked to him last life, and he's been here too, and he's aware of what's going on. He told me it has to do with Miss Charlotte. He's never gotten close to her.
Oh, all right. It seems like we tried to last time, and she was not happy about our questions.
Brother
I
Maximus,
know. So
do you think you could woo the young miss?
When you say his name, Maximus shuddered. Right, no, or wait, sorry, what would he sound like? I don't, I do not know. I think it is time we should have a drink, right, guys?
yeah, I think he's a little spooked. I would
He's-
say.
Grumpus, your brother seems most disturbed.
Sometimes he is like this. Magic. It is not good with him.
Oh, so the big
Oh.
guy has a weakness.
Danielus, did someone say something about probably informing the rest of the party about eating and drinking?
Oh yeah, don't eat or drink anything. But we should go up to talk to Saul. Come
Grumpus
on,
says,
gang.
"What?
Right.
What do you mean no eating, no drinking?"
No, come on, let's go. And we kind of just like I usher you guys up there.
Okay, let's go talk to Saul.
I will like.
Grumpus says, "My men are over there drinking right now."
We'll make him stop.
How did you know this?
It's too much
The
to
man,
explain
what
right
man?
now.
That man?
Yes, come on.
Let's at least hear him out. If he's talking bull, we can get drinks before we die again. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Grumpus turns to Maximus and he says, come on, brother, we have to save our men." And Maximus says, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea." As you guys trail off, and it sounds like you're going upstairs.
Yep. Better talk
Are they
to
just
Saul.
going? They're going over to the men.
Yeah, they're gonna go
Okay.
up to their to the bar and get with their guys. So as somebody about to say something.
Is this actual open mic, as in the founder of the open mic at
I was wondering that.
yeah.
Are they related?
He's my next target.
Are you? So you guys are asking that as you as you go upstairs, I guess.
Oh no, it's
Danielus.
over
Yeah,
my head.
Danielus. It's like that. Brother Danielus. Is that the same open mic of the open mic night?
As a matter of fact, I think you're right.
So how did he escape this loop to found open night mic at a different location?
So
That
what
is
you're
pretty
saying?
weird.
So what you're saying is maybe these people aren't all trapped here. Maybe there's just a version of them trapped.
Yeah, or they're mirages.
So as you guys, I imagine, kind of calmly walk your way through the across the floor and up the stairs, you see. So I guess just to set the scene inside the bar a little bit. So as you recall, when you first walked in, the music was very jovial. It was very lively. Everyone was dancing around and doing their thing, having a ball. This time, you guys notice the music is so you remember even the last life that you had, as Daniel had, the music was a little bit less positive. This is not quite somber, but it's, you could say, pensive, perhaps.
Hmm.
It's a very suspicious, spooky kind of sound. But everyone is reacting exactly the same. They're loving it. They're having a ball. A man pulls up a waitress's dress, and the bar says "Huzzah!" And she slaps him across the face, and the bar says, "Huzzah!" They love it even more. And you guys reach the top of the stairs. Daniels, the scene will be familiar to you. You recognize this as the upper level of the Black Ivory Inn. It has a different sort of feel than the main level. It's first of all, the temperature is colder, and the music and the sounds and the liveliness, you can hear it, but it's kind of muffled. It almost doesn't sound like it's coming from below, but it's coming from all around. Um, and if you would look to your left, you would see Saul sitting by the flame once again.
So I kind of like spookily open the door and
Spookily.
just like spookily do. Just like, how many times have you had to deal with this, Saul? And then I just kind of plop down on the couch and I'm just like, what is going on? And also, Saul, these are my friends. I have Farron and Bulk here, who have also kept their memories too.
Greetings, brother.
Okay, cool. So Daniels comes and kind of sits on the couch. Farron Bulk, as he approaches, or as you guys approach him, he stands and he looks at you and he says, what was the Oh no, that's a bad question. He asks you what year it is.
Current year.
It is
Yeah, current year. Current year.
Plus a
I accept
day.
current. I accept current year. And delirium.
Crystal
meteor?
sunrise from the heavens.
Fantastic product.
Yes, it has occurred years ago.
It's all real. And the royal family.
Obliterated.
Dead.
Deceased and fighting to cling to power.
Okay, so Saul relaxes a little bit. He he doesn't sit at one of the benches there. He kind of sits right next to the flame, just staring into it. Directly in front of him is the window, and if you would look out the window, you would see the same purple light in the sky. To answer your question, Saul, staring into the flame, he just says, I stopped counting a while ago. I don't eat. I don't drink. I just come up here and sit for 1 hour and 28 minutes? Question mark.
So, at our last life, we kind of started a fight and we were trying to get near the piano player. But
I
we
recall.
also noticed this life that the bartender looks familiar from the current town I was living in. Open mic.
Just as a note, so it is common knowledge that Open Mic died on the day.
Oh.
But
So
you
that
can make
is
that
not
connection. But perhaps you made the connection that so now that you know Open Mic died that day, what does that make you think?
That I think this
Okay.
place, yeah. No, so my theory of what's going on is that we're in some time warp and all these people died by the impact of the meteor. And something is like keeping their spirits alive.
It's got to be
But-
delirium. In
But
the
we
base.
saw some of the people leave. My brother and my father left right as we entered. And the meteor
Do you-
doesn't hit for an hour and a half.
Did we check right before to see maybe did they come back in? Did they leave something?
We were in a brawl. I mean, I didn't really check to see who was entering. I was getting held down by multiple people and trying to be stabbed.
So where were you the night of the meteor falling? You weren't here?
I was at my family's house.
How far away was it from where your dad was?
We lived. Well, I thought my father was somewhere else. Clearly, either part of him was stuck here, or he didn't make it quite back on time.
Farron, your house was decently close to the Black Ivory Inn.
I thought it was decently close, but I was like, I don't know how far away this is.
Yeah, it was on the opposite side of it was so you guys lived inside the city walls,
Mhm.
very hoity-toity. So it probably would have taken him, I don't know, maybe about an hour
Okay.
from the
So,
Black Ivory Inn to so you personally have been to this inn multiple times before. You know
as a
about open
small
mic, you know
child.
the whole deal. Yeah.
So like, but
Knew about Miss Charlotte.
I don't know if I would know about Mr. Charlotte.
You'd been here.
I've been here, but like as a child, do you remember a random piano player at a bar you went to?
Saul speaks up. The way the people here speak about her, she was just an extraordinary piano player. I I don't exactly know what more there is to it, but she knows something.
She
She watches
seems
me.
she seems to be like you. She realizes things aren't as they should be. Whether she's playing into it or making it worse, I'm
And
not
why do
quite
you guys
sure.
think the music is different this time around? Is that like a spell she's casting?
Whether or
I
not she's
don't know.
casting a spell, the piano is not magic, but she is aware of what's going on, regardless whether or not she's taking advantage of the situation or causing it herself.
We can't quite seem to get a conversation with her. She has that bodyguard, and then
Did you
did
all-
And all
A
and all the
large piece of
townspeople turned
delirium
on
when
us.
the meteor crashed last, or what
Did
I
you all
perceive as
hear?
delirium.
did we hear what?
Or did you all see what happens to her?
Yes.
The
Just that
the
she gets
delirium.
protected.
It gets impaled. She gets impaled.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
The delirium. It is sacred. It is holy. But when used without a pure heart, it is capable of great danger. And this is an example.
What if
Maybe she
what if we, instead of trying to fight her, what if we try to make sure she's not in the right spot to get hit? What if we,
Mm.
in this loop, try to prevent her from being in that location of being impaled?
And
What's
what
in the
if one of
basement?
us I
Saul, have
also
you,
noticed
Brother
that there's
Saul, have you checked the basement?
Yes, there's also more room to check, but I think I guesstimated. I was like, we don't have much time. Like he said, we only have about under an hour and a half.
Well, it does seem
So
that the
so
meteor was
one of the things that sorry one of the things that you guys have heard since you've been up here talking to Saul, you would recall that there was a moment when Miss Charlotte calls out for another glass of wine, and there's a very loud song and dance accompanied with that has occurred. A couple of things to fill in, and I'm kind of jumping all over the place a little bit. So, Daniel, it's one thing you would quickly understand. So, you know that Open Mike and Blackjack Mel are related. Blackjack Mel is Open Mike's nephew. He talks about it all the time. Oh, his family's businesses, and whatnot. In terms of Miss Charlotte being impaled by the delirium, you guys would recall that she has been in a different spot in the first two loops,
Oh,
and she gets hit with the delirium all the same.
Mm.
Saul will come in and say, I think that something happens in that basement. I think we need to see.
What do we
Alright.
got to lose?
do you know what the door to it is?
Yes.
Is it going to be an issue getting down there?
There are armed men downstairs. They're guarding a door, but I don't know what's behind it.
You've never been able to fight through them?
I'm a man of peace. I try to avoid violence when I can.
That's
The
fair
tenets
for
of the flame
you.
are clear.
So if we get near that door, are we going to be swarmed?
No, they are not instantly hostile, but they don't want you down there.
I say
Do
we
we-
see what diplomacy sounds like.
We could try to lie. I mean, if you know that they're related to Blackjack, we could maybe try to persuade them, saying that Open Mike has a gift for his nephew downstairs who showed up and sent us to get it.
Okay, I'm down. Just
And
let me know
then-
when I need
Spell is
to
protecting
grapple hook 'em.
everything.
Hmm?
The spell protects itself. We must just move quickly. Let's use the time that we have and see what we end up with.
Right,
Yeah,
and if
let's
they get
go.
hostile, we can try to at least force our way through the door to know more for next time.
Let's go.
To the basement.
Right.
To the
Right.
basement.
I will travel with you.
Okay.
Perhaps, there are tales about this time that we live in. Tales of great heroes rising up
I
to battle the
As
coming
we-
darkness.
There's only the
and
sound.
as we walk, I want to kind of motion Farron to the kind of trail behind a little bit, and as we kind of walk together, I'm gonna be like,
So
oh,
Saul hasn't moved yet. So kind of like
Okay.
as you guys start to move, Saul starts talking, and basically he's having this conversation.
mm,
So he said he talks of the new age of heroes, basically.
and who are
Didn't-
these heroes?
You speak as if you know of the flame, the Farron, the fallen flame.
I speak of the true flame,
And
the
which
falling
one?
fire.
The falling. So you're a follower of Lucretia.
I am. I've come all the way from Caspia to join her.
Were they formed before or
Caspian,
after?
Caspians.
What'd you say, Daniel?
Was this fallen flame formed before or after the meteor?
After.
But
So how would he know about it?
she prophesies the meteor's falling.
Hmm.
Saul says to you, I'm trapped here, yes, but I'm trapped like you, not trapped like the people downstairs. I remember when the meteor fell. In fact,
Oh yeah.
I saw visions of the meteor, just like Lucretia. Before, not as long ago, but it was the night before, actually.
Hmm.
I've come here to fulfill my destiny.
And what is that?
To join the falling fire, to join the new age of heroes, to be a part of this. What happens here will be written in histories forever. And I think you all might be those heroes.
What do the scriptures
Part of
say
them.
the heroes accomplish? Brother Saul.
They battle the coming darkness, the same way that Saint Tarna followed the falling star 1,000 years ago to make the first order of paladins. This is our time now to battle the evil that sprang 15 years ago.
In order for us to become those heroes, we'll need to first escape the sin.
Or do you think the thing is down there and it's gonna get the jump on us?
Only one way to find out.
We have little choice.
Very well. I will say a prayer for us before we leave.